So welcome back to the second part. I forgot to mention that the software I use only gives you 10 minutes uh, per session. So I didn't want to honestly pay $500 for the license for the full session. So it gives me 10-minute slots, but I find this just enough to give a little introduction, as I said. So what I was doing the previous time before my 10 minutes ran out as such is I was telling you how to change this. So you go to edit Elementor, and this time we're editing the header because everything in this area here is the header. So we press edit with Elementor and we press header. Oh, this should open up. It takes a minute or so, or just that time there. And in this section, again, you'll notice that everything breaks up into like what I would call like a jigsaw structure. Everything you roll over is editable. So if I roll over anything, and you'll notice the left hand side when you click on it becomes where you edit that specific section. So say for example, I want to edit this announcement. This is the area here. You see how when I roll over, a little pink pencil comes up to the right. So I click the edit text editor button, and again you go over to the left hand side and you see here anything I write in here, in this section here, is going to appear into that box there. So I'm just going to show you that this, and as you see, it happens instantaneously. And the only thing I would like you to keep an eye on at all stages when you do anything like this is that the box is only of a certain size. You can't put an awful lot in there. It really is for please, look at this, or please be announced this, or please be aware of this. It's not to. That's what the news posts are for. This is for the very, very quick day-to-day stuff. Something has been cancelled, or something is happening today which you didn't have a chance to get a post for, or you want somebody to see first of all when you come into the website. So that's the changing of the note up here. So once you're again finished with that, I'm going to go back here into this little box here. The temptation, and I've done it myself, is always to try and type within this actual box itself. Always remember everything happens on the left hand side of the screen. I'm just going to delete that. I don't want that to be there. Notification regarding, and that's it's fine there. So I press update or publish as a new save rolls over. And again, to exit, top left hand side, go down and press exit, and it'll bring you back in to there. Now it brings you back within the WordPress environment, but remember at any stage you want to use the WYSIWYG version of the editor, you just click on visit site. And any page I go into now, so I'm just to show you, let's say for example, student services. Where's the one with a few buttons? Let's see. Downloads is probably a good example. Application forms for posts. That would be something that would be possibly changed on a regular basis. Now the buttons are all laid out. So what I do is I remember to click with Edit with Elementor. Screen slightly changes on the left hand side. Up comes your editing area on the left hand side, and remember anything you click on or roll over and click is then editable. So I'm going to change this maths and business. I'm just going to change. So remember, roll over it, go over to the right hand side where the edit button is, and again the little roll up tells you, click on that. And remember that the left hand side now becomes your edit area. It's very tempting to work within this environment here in the center, but over here on the left hand side is where everything happens. There's the label, i.e. what your button is called. So let's just, for the fun of it, change that to that, because that's not a huge change in dynamics of everything we've done. This is then where you put the link of where you want, of the document that you are changing it to. So you want, say, maths and button to go somewhere else. Well, make sure you know the link of wherever you're sending the button to, and you place that within there. And then down here, well, the icon doesn't really need to be changed. That's the little icon there. So that's the changing of that. So you will change your URL there. Where do you get the URL? Well, you'll get that in your media library. I'll show you that directly afterwards. So Maths and business right there, that's fine. I've changed that to that. I can change any of these buttons by rolling over them. I'm going to go down here and press update. So that's that done there. And we go up here and we press exit. So where would I get that link to send that button to? Well, everything is from the media library. So if I upload anything, say for example, and there's a good example there of a PDF. So I'm going to click on that. And down here on the right hand side is to copy the URL to clipboard. So that's the URL of that document. So if I'm creating the button or editing the button, there is the PDF. I'm going to copy the URL, and as you see, a little green guy pops up there saying copied. So that's copied there. I close that down, and then I go back to my page, and the page we were editing was curriculum. It wasn't actually. It was downloads and application forms for posts. So again, I click on edit with Elementor at the top. Remember the URL or where this button is going to go to is now copied. I go to my maths and business again. I click on edit. And in here in the URL, I would simply take that and press delete. And then I would paste in, copy and paste as you would anything else, the new URL that we copied back here in the media library. That URL there. That simply goes into there. And once you've done that, again, you press update. So we don't need to do that for the purposes of this. So say, for example, those are the buttons we have there. If I ever want to get another button, I want to put the button in there. I can go to this button here. I can right click my mouse and I can duplicate it. And it pops that button there. I grab where the edit button is. I now hold down the left button of my mouse and pick it up. And see where I can move it around the page. So I'm going to take it and see where that pink line is underneath that where I have the button. I let the left hand button on my mouse go and in pops the button. I then now am able to edit the button, and we're going to do this as a test button. Okay, that has now changed. Oh, it'd be great if I could spell, wouldn't it? Or type probably. Test button. I then go into the URL. Remember the URL that we want to send anything to is still is still copied there. So I select all that and I press delete and I go Control C, Control V, and that's the Castlerea PDF that we just put in there. And then I press update. And that's my new button placed in. So you can duplicate all the buttons. They're pre-made. If you wanted a red one, you'd have duplicated a red one. If you wanted a blue one, exactly the same. So the test button is there. At any stage, if you want to remove a button, not happy with it, don't need it anymore, you go to the little pencil again, you right click and you press delete, which is the last option down there, and that removes that button. You go down to the bottom of the screen and you press update. So that's a couple of essentials to keep you going. Of course, as I said, we're going to sit down and go through all this in much greater detail, either live or if you would prefer, I can send you these so that I find these are useful. People find them useful as well. Customers find them useful because they can play them back and forth as many times as they wish. Whereas live, it can be difficult. You write down notes and, you know, no more than me, you go back and read the notes and you don't remember how to do it specifically. So I can do it this way, but either or either will be in contact and we can discuss that further. So that's the end of this video coming up here. Those two hopefully will give you enough to get started, but of course, ask any questions or give me a call or send me an email and I'll get back to you with an answer as quick as possible. Thank you very much.